as a youngster growing up in South London that just wants to be happy and succeed in this life and see some sort of success of what we know as success, I was just following the role models I chose for myself, which is like the rap stars or the superstars I see on the TV. And as I'm following them and chasing them, I come to realize that I always fall short, I always end up empty no matter what I gained. So when I got to the age of 18, I would say, and I had already achieved some success in television and in the music industry, this was a point in my life where I still felt empty. Now, we grew up poor. I didn't have much. I remember my mum struggling for gas and electricity and all these little things. So it gave me this early ambition as a child when my mum used to send me to the shop and say, go and get these things for dinner. And I'd go to the shop, but she would write them down, corned beef, mashed potato, etc. But she wouldn't give me any money. She would write on the back of the letter, give my son these things and I'll pay you on the 18th of the month when I get paid. So I'd walk to the shop as like a 10-year-old boy, 11-year-old boy. And when I get in there, I'd be embarrassed. I don't want no one to see that this is the struggles we're going through in my household. So I would wait until the shop's empty and I put the things down on the counter and then I'll give the man the note. And as I give him the note, he look at it and read it and say, tell your mum this is the last time I'm doing this. So I have to pick up the stuff. I'm upset as a young child and embarrassed and I'm ashamed and I'd have to go home. Really, I just wanted to throw it down and say, do you know what, keep it, but I know I can't because my mum being a Caribbean mum, if I go home and she says, where's the things? And I say, you know what, shopkeeper was annoying, I told him to keep it. I'd rather just deal with the shame and embarrassment than take the stuff home, put it that way. So I took the stuff home, but as a young boy, this is where the anger begins. Why are we so poor? Why don't we have anything? Why are we struggling so much? There's people in this world who have a lot, and the media lets us believe that success is measured by wealth. So I just wanted to be happy, I just wanted to be successful, I just wanted to have wealth. I just wanted to have the nicest trainers. This is what I believe will be a successful life. As I said, I don't know about Jannah, I don't know about these role models, I don't know about Abu Hurairah who was broke and they tying a rock to his stomach. I'm not hearing these stories when I'm growing up. I got my first job when I was 15 years old. And I remember it was with the BBC, I was going to be in a film. And I knew the BBC was calling after months of auditioning because my mum always changed her voice when some corporate BBC aunt calls her. So I remember she answered the phone in the market, hello, and it's like, what are they saying, mum? What are they saying? She said, yes, you got the part. And apparently it was roughly about £1,000 a week I'm going to be earning. I'm 15 years old, and my life was changing. I was no longer wearing Aribas. With the £1,000 a week, I could buy the newest trainers. Now they're sending a Mercedes S-Class to pick me up from my house to go to work. I'm chauffeur driven. I remember the first day they called me in the morning. Good morning, Mr. Chin, your car's outside. I look outside, I see this black Mercedes S-Class on my council estate coming to get me. After 2-3 weeks, I no longer cared about the Mercedes picking me up. I remember it didn't mean anything. I no longer cared about being on TV. It felt normal to me. So everything started to feel normal. And at that stage, now I had money to buy loads of trainers, I no longer cared. I was thinking, I want money to buy my own car. And then when I had enough money by the time to buy my own car, I no longer cared. I wanted a newer car, and then I wanted my own house. And then it was just never stopping. Until I met a Muslim. And what's crazy is I'm in a studio where we make music and we do illegal activities, I'd say. And a Muslim comes and knocks on the door. He's my friend's older brother, and he tells us to turn down the music. And when he keeps saying, can you not turn down the music, can you not turn down the music? He goes, disappears, and he comes again about 3 hours later, knocks on the door. Can you not turn down the music? And he disappears. So I think, what's he doing? I realise he's a Muslim. Every few hours he's praying. But I didn't know any Muslims these days. And this is a black man. And I'm being honest, if you ask me about Islam in school, my teacher said, Ashley, tell me what you know about Islam. I would have said, that's a city in Pakistan. Like, I didn't know nothing about this religion. So me seeing a black man as a Muslim I thought, is this religion not just for Asians and Arab people? How can you be a Muslim? And he comes into the room and he speaks to us. And the way in which he addresses us, the manners which he uses, coming from a black man that used to be on the streets, may Allah reward this guy. Dawah is so important, how we use it, how we give it. The intelligence, the wisdom, the softness. He spoke to us in a language we understood and approached us in a way that engaged us and got our attention. First thing he asked in the room, he's seen all these young boys, he said, what's your purpose of life? Tell me that. And remember, we know everything. We got a big name in the street, so when we're asked, what's your purpose in life? We're like, yeah, I know that, of course. Like, no, tell me, what's the purpose of life? And you're sitting there like, you know, like, to live like, you know, like your life, innit? Like, what purpose, innit? Like, to have like a purpose in your life and like, be good, like, to your family, like, live with like, yeah, like, purpose, innit? And I'm thinking to myself, wow, we sound very uneducated right now. We don't even know. How can you not know? You know so much, but you don't know what you're living for. Do you not believe in God? I say, yeah, of course you believe in God. I believe in God. He says, do you not know you come from a God, a creator? When you die, you're going to return to that God, that creator. So your purpose right now is to live a life that is pleasing to that God, that creator, to impress that God, that creator with everything you do. Because angels are around you and they're writing down your deeds. Your good and your bad, what you do in public, what you do in secret, what the things that you think you're going to get away with. Everything's being written down. And the day's going to come where you're going to have to stand and account for your actions. So he goes, your purpose is to make sure that your good outweighs your bad while you're here. And you don't know how long you're going to be here for. So now we're in the room as youngsters doing our little illegal stuff and we're listening and saying, rah, what happens after this then? That's deep. He said, after this, and he starts talking about Judgment Day. And when he explained Judgment Day to us, how this fire's going to come, and people are going to be going, whoa, why are you here? Like, why are you here? Did the warning not come to you? And I said, so who goes to this fire? And he says, the people who turned their back on their creator, who didn't want to listen, didn't have time. He says, on that day, it's going to be winners and losers. And I'm listening to this, and I'm saying, I can't be one of the losers on that day. He says, you're going to be split in two. The winners and the losers. I don't even like losing at football. How can I lose at life? I said, there's no way I'm going to be a loser. Not on that day. That's the day that matters the most. I said, next time you're going to the bookshop, I want to come with you. And I was actually shy to say this in front of all my friends. I waited till he was outside the room and I bucked him on the stairs and I said, like, what books do you read? Like? And he said, no, well, you want to come bookshop with me, man? I'd never been to a bookshop before, but I went to a bookshop with him and I bought a couple books. And I remember the guy said to me at the door, now you're taking these steps towards Islam, Allah's going to come running to you. I never knew what he meant, but I understood what he meant in the weeks that followed. It's like a religion that I knew nothing about was coming at me left, right and centre after that. Until the fear of dying not as a Muslim hit me so hard, a day came where I said to that same guy, I want to take my Shahadah. Alhamdulillah. And I remember he took me to a house. But the masjid we went to, they said it closed after the prayer. So we went to a house. But this is a blessing from Allah, because when we went to the house, the first thing I noticed is the diversity. I'm wearing a grey night tracksuit, and I remember there's a brother from Somalia there, there's a brother from Bangladesh, brother Adnan Rashid was in there, he was Asian, there's a Turkish Cypriot brother, and we're all sitting on the floor. And they were like so happy to see me. This teenager looking like a street kid in there saying, I want to take Shahadah. And they're like, come brother, what do you want? The love was too much for me. So much love. Come eat some food. Do you want food? They brought this big plate. I was like, okay. I didn't even know if I was hungry, but I was just accepting everything. Okay, yeah, I'll eat. I was shy. I was nervous. And they're saying, come brother, eat. And they brought this big silver tray. We're sitting on the floor. I was just thinking, what? We're not going to sit on no chairs. We're just going to eat on the floor. Everything's new to me. We're sitting on the floor, and then the brother next to me is like, come, eat. I'm thinking, yeah, I need a spoon or something. And then he goes, okay, get him a spoon. So he gives me a spoon. I start eating. I'm thinking, what, are we all going to eat from the one plate? He says, yeah, we're all going to eat from the one plate. I said, okay, this is different. All right, cool. And he said, eat from in front of you. So I'm eating from in front of me from the plate. And they're asking me loads of questions. Brother, so how old are you? Does your mother know? And I'm listening to them, and then I've noticed, wait there, did you just put your hands in the food? One of them put his hands in the food. So I was thinking, yo, I'm I was one of those, my mum would say scornful, I'm very hygiene, you can't drink from the... So when I saw a man put his hand in the food, I was thinking, yo, and he's eating, and he's putting his hand in the food, and then the man next to me, he's asked me, does your mum know you're becoming Muslim? And I said, no, she doesn't know yet. And he's like, yeah, that's good. But then I've got, do you know you got the rice in your hand? And he's squashing it like that. What an experience. But what I noticed is the love. They didn't care about this. My heart was different to theirs. They loved this sharing. Of course they could have put loads of plates out, but there was something about this they loved. There was some goodness in their heart that I was lacking, I was missing at that time. And after I took my Shahadah, there I said the words, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. I saw their faces light up like they were so jealous of me. Like, come, give me a hug. And these guys, I've never hugged a man before. They're giving me hugs, like, come here. One of them even kissed me on the cheek, like, mwah. I'm saying, yo, this is a love I've never experienced. And honestly, it's been 20 years since that day. And honestly, thank you. Because this love, honestly, is something I never knew. I never knew, not from family, not from anyone. So it's I have to say thank you. This is just beautiful. And people were giving me gifts. Man gave me a little glass bottle like that, half full. And he's saying, take this, take this. I'm thinking, what's this? And he said, smell it. And it smelled good. He said, it's a present for you. And you know what? Best decision I ever made. And alhamdulillah, since then it's been a journey of 20 years. I recently done Hajj. I went there on my own. I don't know if anyone done Hajj, but I remember just being there in these two white cloths. You know the ihram, if you've done Umrah, I'm standing in these two white cloths in Mina, just laying in my tent. And I remember just thinking, looking at everyone around me, how did I end up here? How did I end up here?